Dear Kotaku, specifically Luke Plunkett, allow me to introduce myself. I am game crazy. I gave 14 years worth of my blood, sweat, and tears to that company. I was there from the day we opened our first store in 1996, all the way until we turned off the lights in our last store in 2010. Just because we're gone doesn't mean that we aren't still keeping an eye on the legacy that we left behind. And though posting our old training video on your cute little site was funny, it was unfortunately lacking in the accuracy department. You know, just in case that's something important to you, as a journalist. First of all, I have to commend you. You must be one hell of an investigative journalist. I mean, who else could dig up a 9-year-old training video and call it newsworthy? I mean, it had already been on YouTube for several years prior to your discovery, but still, you're like a gaming Jacques Cousteau. Oh, and as long as you're mentioning the downfalls of Game Crazy at the height of their relevance in 2012, I'd love to give you the exclusive scoop about the time we didn't get Jade Empire on time. You see, it's a great story. The guy driving the truck was asked by his employer to pull a double-double, and so he quit, and he left our trailer at a rest stop 50 miles from the warehouse. True story. Now, back to that training video. Is it terrible? Absolutely. Did everyone in the company hate it? You bet your ass we did. It became a running joke throughout our company for years, and served as a reminder of how not to produce a training video. Needless to say, that video has enjoyed a longer lifespan on the internet than it ever did as a piece of training material for our company. But you know what, Luke? As you pointed out, that was back in 2003. We had less than 200 stores. In our prime, we had nearly 800. Now, I'm not a mathematician or anything, but that sounds an awful lot like growth. Growth that occurred after the horrific Zelda Scott video, mind you. Now here's where you started to get your facts wrong. You said in your post that anyone involved with the chain would tell you that we were squeezed out of the market because of increased competition. Actually, Luke, that's not true. Game Crazy went out of business because our parent company, Movie Gallery, went out of business. Now, Movie Gallery was squeezed out of the home video market because of competitors like Redbox and Netflix, but Game Crazy? Nuh-uh. We were still humming right along. Unfortunately, when your 700-plus thriving game stores burdened with the weight of 4,000-plus failing video rental stores, it doesn't take long before all your cash dissolves. So, are we good now, Luke? Are you up to speed on why Game Crazy is gone? We can try flashcards if you're still confused. The second fact that you conveniently got wrong was that you called us a minor player in the US retail space. Actually, Game Crazy was the second largest specialty video games retailer in the US. Now that, my friend, is what you call a fact. I didn't have to make that up to try and sound like I know what I'm talking about. Now you give it a try. I'll wait. Nothing? Alright, well I'll tell you what, I'll come back to you later on that one. Now, if you think we were a minor player, Luke, why not pick up a phone and call Capcom? Ask them which retailer put together the most innovative marketing campaign for Resident Evil 5. Guess who they're going to say? I'll give you a hint. It won't be GameStop. Or how about you pick up a phone and call Bethesda? Ask them which retailer assembled the most complete and comprehensive launch plan for Fallout 3. You want to take a guess at who they're going to say? Wasn't Best Buy. Better yet, Luke, why not pick up a phone and call any publisher in the video game industry and ask them which retailer was consistently the most creative, easy to work with, and all-around best partner in the business. They're going to tell you Game Crazy every single time. And you know what, Luke? That's not half bad for a minor player, now is it? Were we perfect? Of course not. We tried new things and we made mistakes, but we learned something from it each time. Did every customer have the best possible experience when walking through our doors? Again, probably not. But can you point to any retailer and tell me where that's true? Game Crazy may not have been as widely known as GameStop, but we had passion, and we were dedicated to delivering the best retail experience in the video game space. Every company stumbles now and again, but Game Crazy had the most loyal customers above all else. So Luke, in closing, you're right. Our 2003 training video was a joke. Hell, if you had given any of us old Game Crazy alumni a call, we'd have been the first to buy you a beer and laugh at it with you. But you didn't do any research for your piece. You just posted your perception based upon no facts. Although on second thought, for Kotaku that does sound about right. Now I don't want to leave you sounding all sour grapes here, Luke. If I was a jerk, I might tell you that Kotaku is just a second-rate Destructoid. But we're friends now, and I would never do that to a friend. What I will say, however, is that if you ever want to get the facts straight about Game Crazy and get some real insight into what we were all about and what we accomplished, we're not hard to find. You might be surprised to discover that we're intelligent people with a passion for video games, probably not too unlike yourself. Maybe bear that in mind before rabbit punching a presumed defenseless opponent with shuttered doors. Because I can promise you one thing, Luke. If there's one thing Game Crazy will never be, it's defenseless.